Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyle, and I watch anime and all that good stuff. We last left off watching Arcane Bridging the Rift Episode 1, so the behind-the-scenes documentary, and I am loving it. I love learning about everything to do with how something gets made, how much money it costs, the risks they have to take, you know, what actually is the tipping point to greenlighting the project. So we learned about pretty much all of that. However, episode 1 ended with like them potentially canceling the project. So I'm a little confused on how that came about. But we're going to find out, I guess, how they obviously resolved that, because I have now seen season 1 of Arcane and there is a season 2. So what did they say to the suits? What do they say to the people who head the Riot studio to finally convince them to go all in on Arcane, and maybe even sell the idea that they need to do a season 2? I have no idea. Just everything behind this is just fascinating to see. The early concept art, the early character designs, and hearing from the people, the actual people behind the paintbrushes, the pens, the keystrokes, everything. So here we go. Episode 2, does it have a title? And the title is Persistence, or When Your Best Still Sucks. Oh boy. Anyway, here we go. Episode 2, Bridging the Rift. Riot Games. What is truth but a survivor's story? Arcane Season 1, Episode 5. Foosball.
Managing Fortiche is like, sometimes I feel like a band manager. Like, guys, you're doing whatever you want, but I want you on stage at this time for the concert and the gig. And they're always on time at the end. So you have to trust them.
Yeah, whatever happens in between, not too important.
So we are in 2017, and everybody is working really hard to deliver the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a discussion with Riot, explaining to us that we're not happy with the script, with episode 2 and episode 3. At the end of the call, we were like, have they really said that? I think we have misunderstood them. When we arrived in LA, and then it was, hey guy, yes, we want to do a pause on the production, put everything on hold. We were like, oh my gosh, that was true.
I love the different fonts. Persistence. Okay, so how do we push through? How do we push through? Tell them to shut up
Everything
and
is
trust
going to
us.
shit right now.
I guess that was pretty much at the point where they had drafted together a couple of scripts and sort of a show bible for the entire season. The next thing I know, Christian mysteriously gets pulled into a meeting, and then it was like a strange intervention where a bunch of other rioters basically told him that it sucked.
Damn.
Blow to the team to just feel like,
It sucked.
man, we're being told to stop completely and potentially even find different showrunners, different writers for the whole thing.
You know, you've been killing yourself, you know, to try and make it work. And
That's really hard.
like, just, I mean, your first thought, of course, is just like, is it dead?
Yeah. That
We were
scene.
really only able to hire all these animators with the promise that there would be a full season to work on.
Right.
Because, you know, they're very, very talented, and you really only get them if you have something kind of worth committing to, you know, like a multi-year project.
And so we just kind of had this feeling like we're gonna have to tell all these people that we just hired, they have to be like, which just, I don't know, it's just like the worst thought.
I think Alex and I just felt like we suck. Like we failed.
What didn't they like?
Tortured artist who can't let himself not do something great. Like, he will will it into existence because he will beat himself up and lose sleep and go crazy.
I would too.
Times
I would too.
during my career ride so far where I needed someone like Brandon or Mark to explore some pretty wild ideas. You know, where a lot of people would say, like, no one in the video game industry has full-time composers, you know, like, we can just hire someone from the outside as a freelancer to make some music for us.
Full-time composers.
Or why would we make music videos? That's insane, you know, like, video game companies don't make music videos. Back then, it was Mark and Brandon who kind of saw the idea and like how awesome this could be and they took bets on.
Oh, look at them all listening to the orchestra. Wow, that's cool.
In the meeting, everyone left. It was just Brandon and me, and basically, I think Brandon kind of took like the moment to kind of tell me, hey, like,
too much.
We'll figure it out. You know, like, we trust you. You know, like, we'll figure it out. And I just started crying.
Christian's biggest fear is letting players down. He crushes himself over it. It's actually painful for those closest to him to sort of watch, and it gives you so much respect and appreciation and ultimately trust in.
Let him cook, okay?
Guys take responsibility and ownership.
Let him cook.
Hello everyone. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our decision to delay the further production of the follow-up episodes of Arcane.
I remember, I think I recorded like 16 different versions of this video because I just always was just kind of sitting there like,
Wonder if he threatens to leave.
You guys some more information about it, you know, why, what our plan is, and so on. And I'm sure you've heard from...
We did not show this. The question was, if we start with that, everybody will cry, everybody will jump out of the window.
I finally made a version of the video that I felt like was okay, and I sent it to them.
They
only to learn a few weeks later that they were like, yeah, we never showed it to anyone because you just looked so depressed. You look like you want to kill yourself. Like, how could we ever show that to anyone?
So it was like a harsh time.
Fuck, did they let people go? What is there to work on, right? You're supposed to be like...
So we had to let the team go, which is always very painful.
Dude.
You're not sure they're going to be able to come back, because if they go to another production, you might lose them.
What the
We knew that we wouldn't have work for them for the months to come. So we started talking to different teams at Riot and started asking people, hey, is there anything we can do, like a music video or anything that could just keep, you know, the lights on
I want
at
to
Fortiche?
know what the fuck happened. What did
We
they
talked
not
to the
like?
esports team, and there was a desire to make a music video.
And they probably crushed it because they rock.
Became the Rise music video, and then we started talking to the music team, and they were working on something like a crazy idea about a K-pop group.
Madison Beer.
So they did 2 music videos with us, which I think are still some of the best, if not the 2 best, on our YouTube channel.
Thank God, Alex and I are shit at our jobs, because if we hadn't taken that extra time to develop the story, the KDA Popstars music video and the Rise music video would have never happened.
Ces deux clips nous ont permis aussi de résoudre certains petits problèmes techniques qu'on pouvait avoir qu'on avait pu avoir sur le pilote.
Okay.
Et d'affirmer un peu plus le style de la série.
So, you're welcome.
Is that him? Or somebody pushing the car? That's funny. The director's cut. That's great. That's funny. Man, so...
Poor cripple from the Undercity.
Victor.
I was an outsider the moment I stepped foot in Piltover.
Victor!
I didn't have the benefits.
I didn't trust you at first.
The
Victor,
name.
I'm sorry.
I simply believed in myself.
At that point, the idea was I had to replace myself as like the person in charge of figuring out the story. Of course, you know, it was me and Alex, but I was responsible. We just knew we had to hire someone who's experienced as a showrunner and as writers and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And that's what we tried to do.
Tried.
Except we couldn't really find anyone.
Oh, God.
6 years ago, if you pitched that a video company was gonna do like an animated series that is looking for like drama screenwriters,
Nobody's gonna...
no one really showed up.
Yeah. What did they
Or it
not
was just,
like?
you know, people were in for the wrong reasons, you know, where it was like, well, I mean, League of Legends and Riot is big, but they didn't really care about the characters that much.
Right.
So
Look
we
at
looked for
that.
quite a while, and at some point,
These game studios are so massive.
maybe we'll just kind of have to
Let it go.
try again, but be less shitty.
Okay, 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 okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, it was just start over, you know, like kind of look at what we do. That's when we started talking to showrunners, you know, like who could we bring in to just be an advisor.
That's when we found Monica Maser. You know, she was a showrunner. She worked on Lost.
Oh, wow.
Was someone who was really passionate about mentoring people, and she really helped us find
That's awesome.
the right way to realize our vision, you know, without necessarily being like, here's what you have to do. More just about here's all about the process of how to craft a season, how to think about developing characters.
And then we hired, you know, a bunch of writers who'd worked in various capacities in TV. So, you know, Amanda was one of those writers.
Oh, I know. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, professional writers.
Get into the heads of your characters in any way you can.
Okay.
I did have one of the writers teach me how to shoot a gun, like a sniper gun, right before I was gonna write Caitlin's episode last year.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you gotta know a little bit about that.
We're in my house, and I have a little office here where I do my writing.
Nice. Can you show me that?
Sure. Through the kitchen.
Duh. They need to see it.
Into my nook. I have these lights I turn on at night to sort of inspire me.
Set the mood.
There we go.
She literally just has a tiny laptop. I love that.
You as kind of a sample of their work. And Amanda, I think with hers, it was comic book video game scientist.
Perfect.
And her story was about a future world where we've colonized the moon. And I was like, this seems like it could be a good fit for us.
Nice.
I would prefer not to have a punching bag in my living room, but that's just what we do right now. So I actually never thought about how my kung fu translates to learning how Vi's a fighter.
There you go.
Rotten luck, boys.
But there's a fight scene in episode 5 of season 1, which is the episode I wrote.
Looks like a monk kneeing the person in the face.
One of the things I'm like so proud of is it's like between two women with like a different body type, different, like both like really muscular. They're doing moves that you haven't necessarily seen women do before on screen.
Yeah, they are pretty stocky.
I always think of fight scenes as like being just like another talking drama.
It is. It's language.
There has to be motivations. You have to learn something new about the character in the fight that you didn't know before.
Like,
I'll give her your regards.
Kate.
And then, of course, she's saved by another woman. 3 women in a fight scene. It's fucking dope, so.
Yeah.
Amanda has a really honest voice in her dialogue that is just really
That's why
grounded emotionally.
Arakawa of Full Metal.
I remember this moment when Alex and I were really wrestling with the
awesome
last
women
words
characters.
that Jinx was saying to Vi in season 1. And then like Amanda took the script and solved it in like
an hour.
I don't know. An
I thought maybe you could love me like you used to. Even though I'm different. But you changed too. So, here's to the new us.
Amanda just wrote that, and Alex and I were just like, "Yep,
that's it."
And we just couldn't do that, you know.
I think the biggest change from the way that we were looking at it before was it was very plot heavy, right? It's very focused on kind of like, what's the problem that has to get solved?
Sounds
Who's
like
going
a
to fight who?
Man.
What I think most improved
Honestly.
after kind of working with these writers was sort of like the emotional story for the characters.
I'm quite proud of the cold open too, the like whole beginning of the season with the bridge.
Right. Yeah, the
cold
opening.
open used to be the cold open from episode 3 when Silco was drowning.
Okay.
I sort of went out on a limb being like, so guys, I know you hired me to help out with the show and whatever,
But let's flip the beginning.
you need to change the pilot. That's a lovely poetic image, right? But it wasn't telling the story of the series, which is these two sisters being torn apart.
Yeah, if the show's about the sisters, start with them.
That's when I came in as a CEO, taking this big role with the idea of becoming a multi-game developer and a multi-game publisher, which on its own is a really difficult challenge to go from that one hit to multiple games. And then there was this little curveball, and by the way, we have this TV show, which probably is going to cost us, a massive 9-digit budget. There is a lot of risk in this.
To be completely honest, Niccolo and I we're always on like completely opposite spectrums.
I mean,
he's a business person. He's someone who's just extremely smart in like a rational way. He doesn't really let himself get carried away by like his emotions or like by his.
Whereas he's the complete opposite.
And I'm the opposite. I always have opinions. I'm always, you know, emotionally attached to the stuff that I work on. I'm an artiste, I guess.
Christian, actually, I remember I bring him in my office to say, hey, we've decided if we're gonna fund you for a full season. He had done the pilot, and you know, we paused, and I told him like we're not gonna fund a full season for Arcane.
Fuck.
And then I told him like I think it's really important you understand why, because you and I can be on a different page, but it's very important you understand where I'm coming from. And the reason I'm not going to validate you to move to a full season is because I'm going to allow you to move to multiple seasons. And so I kind of trolled him a bit.
Dude.
Pulled a bit of a prank.
And I think he was really pissed at me for this.
Dude, that's
he definitely
that's a no-no.
gave me the trust that I needed to develop Arcane the way that Fortiche and our team
big
Riot
sigh of relief
needed to do it, you know, which was not the easy way, but like really this like pursuit of like, hey, this is what we think our audience wants, and it's ambitious and crazy, but we need you to trust us, and he did.
You need to stay committed to players because nothing's going to be easy. There will be many moments where you want to give up. I know Christian went through this multiple times. We went through this multiple times, and you need to have the grit and the courage to continue for players.
Not a very.
As we were looking at.
It is a business decision, but also an emotional decision there.
And we started to think about how are we going to do the first development of season 2 at the same time. That's when we started looking for someone to help figuring out the production scale a bit more.
It was tough because we couldn't find the right culture fit. A lot of people kind of shied away from like, hey, this isn't normal TV. This isn't normal animation. I think I'm just gonna go, you know, insert any animation studio out there, right? But finally, one time I got connected with a woman named Melinda Dilger.
Hey guys.
The lady's coming in to fucking save this goddamn series.
To Casa de Dilger. I work here because of COVID. This is Willie Nelson. He's the boss of Arcane right here. He's in all the meetings. He loves it. He loves his job.
Stuck out.
Yes.
I just love talking to her. She had such a warm energy.
That's cool.
She just also had experience. Like I mentioned some of the issues that we were dealing with, and she seemed unfazed by it.
This is where all my meetings happen. It's very.
Some people are just problem solvers, man.
And I got that when I worked on Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. That's
I remember
really cool.
sitting down all of the stakeholders, and I think I literally told them, you better not fuck this up. I like her, she's awesome. If you fuck this up, I'm gonna kill you.
I was producing by the time I was 24. That was when I was really young. I worked on Darkwing Duck. That was my very first animated show to be on as a production assistant. I was working on Goof Troop, Aladdin.
Goof Troop!
Award. That's kind of a big deal right here. This is very proud of this. Very nice. I know whenever people tell me, they're like, oh my gosh, I watched that as a child. I'm like, oh.
And then.
I'm so old, but it's okay.
Yeah, but then it makes you feel like everything's worth it.
Looks at me and they say, we're so glad we have somebody with so much experience on the show, which really equates to old, but it's okay. I can take it, you know. Riot's a very young company.
They are.
And I am rolling. All right, I think you've had enough, mate.
Yeah, the team health when I first started wasn't so great. Everyone was like, I was like, man, this team, they need some loving. They need some loving.
Making the show that we kind of set out with Arcane, you know, with the right designs for these characters that work in our IP, you know, this fantasy world. The pursuit of creative work is complex.
And she's not a video game mind, right? Traditional TV.
Sure, or no feeling of like being overwhelmed at times, then you're working on something the world is gonna forget.
By then, I think I was super exhausted because I was like 3 years into the project or something.
Fuck.
I know Christian was exhausted, Alex was beat, and like she brought in that new energy and just sort of this like, yep, let's pick it up and let's go.
How are you guys feeling? Are you exhausted? Right? Cool. Are you okay to keep going? From what I was hearing, It was just taking them a long time to kind of get their bearings.
Hmm.
And let's face it, Fortiche, our animation partner studio in Paris, they had also never produced a series.
Right. A lot
so you
of
have
firsts.
a bunch of newbies trying to figure this out. And
Dude, this is so cool to hear that she just came in and
one, even for those of us that have been in the business for a really long time. You missed a really long, important strategy meeting that answers all the questions of the universe.
That was a Rosebud meeting.
For Riot and beyond. The Rosebud meeting.
Melinda was always someone that is extremely inspiring to the team.
This is so cool to
and
hear.
Creating a team atmosphere where it's okay when things are tough.
Yeah.
As long as you just kind of believe in the team.
kind of sounds like my last boss, honestly.
Together.
Like, well, you can get everything in New York like that. Oh, gee.
Hi. Behind the scenes.
See, you guys didn't think you'd be on behind the scenes, and here you are. There's Eric Bergman, our post supervisor.
Oh, that's cool.
Eric, you're on mute. See, this is what we do every Zoom call.
You're on mute.
Somebody's always on mute. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
I just came in and kind of rolled up my sleeves and went from department by department, just trying to get everybody together and get to know each individual on the team as a person.
Fresh energy.
This is a French studio and there's no wine, but you have IPA.
It's like there's two teams, the
Beer team and the wine
team.
Well, where's the wine? And that's part of building team trust. And then you can start to actually
If I ever
solve
make an
problems.
anime, I need to call her
Dig
up
deep. That's what you gotta
so
do.
she can guide us. Guide us. Look at that.
This is our production schedule.
Stop.
In March of 2020, that's when this started. And then it goes
Literally
all the
the
way
beginning of the
through
pandemic.
The last episode. Because this is the first series Riot's ever done.
That hurts my brain.
We go along in production, so it's taking a little bit longer.
And I
than
work
it
at a
typically
software
would
company.
on a television series that's all thought out. Everything's figured out way ahead of time. This is like, how can we make this more unique and more special than any other show on television? Let's take our time and do it right. And if
Man.
it takes us a little bit longer to get those scripts done, that's what we do.
I hope they are so proud.
Gave everybody nukes. Congratulations, you fucked up, right?
This is the thing that's always been a little fuzzy to me, is just kind of how we end this episode with the Victor Singe thing.
Yes, I would love to bring Vi back into Caitlin's mind in this episode in some way. I wrote like something about missing Vi.
Something about missing Vi.
Yeah, have not solved yet either.
And to kind of like take the IP that's there from the games and turn it into something really awesome for television is a challenge. They're going to spend more money than most people to get it there, but they're doing it because they love the players and they want the players to be happy. And it's special.
There's
it's like
the
you don't just see
shark
them
guy.
as these little tiny things walking across the screen. By putting them on television,
Dude,
they
yeah.
have soul and they're deep and you can relate to them.
Yeah, do the league players love it? I hope. I really hope. I'm not a league player and I love it. But I can understand not liking how your
Can this
character is
be
fleshed out.
Sustained
that you play every
over
day.
6 hours. Will people watch something like this and fall into the immersion of the animation?
100%, brother. 100%.
Do you actually have that quality to mesmerize an audience by staring at two characters,
Mm-hmm.
not saying a word?
Caress in the cheek.
It's all between them and the air and the emotions.
They really captured emotions. Fortiche did an incredible job.
Take animation to this place of mature drama,
The screaming.
subtlety and nuance, style,
That scene with the music.
innovation. But it doesn't exist, and I think we together can do it.
Yes. God, I love this so much. What just happened? Okay. That was episode 2 of Bridging the Rift, and man, it's just so fun. It's so fun getting behind the scenes, especially since I like just finished Arcane season 1, so I'm like, it's fresh. I have another season I am also looking forward to, and I'm already in the in-between time. It's just, love it. I love it. I've said that a trillion times, and I'm going to say it a trillion times more. It turns out the two guys, Christian and, was his name Kyle? I would have remembered that. I forget the other guy's name. The two lead idea guys for the series. One of them is a writer, but they needed help. They've never run a TV show before. So, okay. So now I get a little bit more of an understanding of they didn't have a fully fleshed story, and they never ran a TV show before. So they did put a pause. I'm not sure if I got an answer. I mean, a little bit of an answer was that Fortiche got to do 2 music videos, which the newer CEO at the time said were phenomenal. So thank God that the pause happened and then they could do that. But hopefully they didn't let everybody go. But who knows? Either that was pre-COVID or during COVID when that part happened. So I can't imagine what was going through those animators' minds when the pause happened. There are no guarantees of another job in sight, sometimes for a year, if not more. I can't imagine what those animators had to go through. So it was cool to hear that at least they had some work. And then they stuck with Fortiche when they picked back up. Thank God it all worked out. Obviously, anybody losing a job isn't working out, but it worked out. Then we have this cool lady come in. I already forget her name, but the gentle soul who worked on things like Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Aladdin, that reboot of Mary Poppins. So many cool fucking pieces of media and traditional media, and was like, guys, let's bring up the energy a little bit. And by the way, this is how you run a TV show. This is how you plan it. That roadmap that she laid out, that was like fucking gigantic. I've seen some of that in the software development industry. I'm in product management, if some of you don't know, and you have to, scope out, roadmaps for features and, releases and things like that. And that's what a program manager helps with, is planning stuff like that, because it can be a lot. It's like, it's going to take us this long to do the architecture. It's going to take us this long to develop. It's going to take us this long to test. It's going to take us this long to do end-to-end testing. And then we can release. Oh, by the way, we need to do documentation. We need to do demos, whatever. Like, there are a lot of different steps. Like you saw on that roadmap, it was like writing, effects. So much probably goes into even just 1 minute of animated full product. So I just can't imagine. They did show a little bit of like the voice actors. I want to see more. I want to see more about the voice actors. So hopefully they cover that in one of these episodes, because I'm like foaming at the mouth to see the people behind the voices of the characters that we know and love. So I'd be very interested to see that. It's also really cool to see the whole story with the CEO and Christian. Christian seems to be, he came in as fucking customer support, and he's been there for years at Riot Games, rose the ranks, took chances, risks, probably feels like Riot is a huge part of his identity. They showed that clip where they hired, I almost said fired, they hired full-time musicians for the music of their games and stuff like that. And you saw the other, I guess, important people standing next to him all like nodding, and the one guy like went over to Christian and was like, yeah, this is a great idea, with the orchestra playing. And it's like, he's a risk taker because he believes in the vision that he has. And so far from the documentary, he is the guy who was like, this is my baby, along with the other guy, the writer. I want this to succeed. And like, he made 16 videos apologizing to Fortiche. I can't imagine. Probably made even more than that, because in my YouTube days, I have done that myself. So I can't imagine, especially like a layoff type video. Oof, that was probably a really dark time in his career. So kudos to him for getting through that. He probably thought he himself could be on the chopping block eventually, because if this wasn't working out, then maybe they didn't need him. You know, putting self-doubt out there, like maybe I'm not good at what I do and stuff like that. So obviously it all fucking paid off, because Arcane is amazing and they've done 2 seasons. So the thought I wanted to point out is that the CEO, you know, in his business acumen and stuff like that, and really kind of thinking about numbers probably first and foremost, was like, you know what? Christian has done nothing but push us forward in innovation, you know, whether it be the music videos or the music for our games and different things, and the pilot for Arcane. And it's like, maybe we should just fucking let them do this, even if it's going to be a 9-figure bill or more. Maybe we should just fucking let them do this, because an interest in the business to have an interest in our players. And it's like, that's such a duh thing. It's like, duh, cater towards your players. You fucking make games for the players. It's that simple. However, sometimes when people see a sticker price of not, you know, a couple million on a project that you don't know is going to succeed, you could divert that money into things that you do know has a good chance at success, and, you know, scrap this unnecessary risk. They took a chance. So that was a really cool kind of background on the CEO and Christian's interaction. And then the CEO kind of making a joke like, hey, we're not going to greenlight a full season for Arcane. I'm sorry, Christian, but we're going to do 2 seasons. That was pretty not nice. I get it. And I hope Christian laughed maybe a day or 2 later, but that was probably rough for him to hear that. Final thoughts. It's cool that they brought in a lot of women writers, you know, showrunner and things like that. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily matter who's doing the job, man or woman or they or whatever, but I have consumed stories like Full Metal Alchemist, for example, and that was written and drawn by Arakawa, who is a woman, and that story, Full Metal Alchemist, is praised for having great, strong female characters. Obviously, the main 2 characters of the show are boys, young men, so it's a little hypocritical or ironic or whatever you want to say. But there are a lot of great female characters in that show, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the people that they brought in are women, and some of the best characters in the show are women. And it just, you know, sometimes it just fits. Like, you know what I mean? It just fits when a woman is writing a woman. Not saying that, you know, a man can't write a woman or whatever, but for me, the light bulb went off when they came on screen. I was like, yep, that makes sense. They probably helped push the story a little bit. As Christian and his partner said, they were very focused on like this plot and like, how do we solve this problem? And that is exactly how my brain works sometimes. It's like, here's a problem, let me solve it. So obviously, you know, I don't want to get too far into the women thing. It was really cool to see that they came on and they were an immediate help. Also, the big freaking risk that I think Amanda was her name, that she took, which she was like, I think you should change your pilot. That takes some gumption. I think the other one would have worked still. The Silco monologue in the water and like seeing the turmoil with Vander. However, it does make total sense to open up with the sisters when the story is about the sisters. I mean, the story is about a lot of things, but it's about them. Like a good portion of the story is about them. So I thought that was a good call. Definitely a risk, you know, being a new member of the team and going, yeah, I think we should change how the show starts. Just think we should change it. Just saying. And then she was the one who ended up coming up with the last line by Jinx, which that's got to feel so good. Like, for any writer out there to, like, come up with, like, a fucking just killer line of dialogue, especially the last one, that's got to feel good. Got to feel really good. Okay. I have rambled on long enough. I don't know how long I've been recording for, but that is episode 2 of Bridging the Rift. Thanks for sticking around with me. Thanks for watching this. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.